Movie Holics!
Did you read a review where the critic told you should not or should see a film? But then you found out that without a doubt, the film critic must have been ill. It's the attack of the Rotten Tomatoes. It's the attack. Now it's time to fight back against Rotten Tomatoes.
What's up, movie holics? Welcome back to Attack of the Rotten Tomatoes. I'm Monica Kazuric.
And I'm Kyler Wilson, and today we're going to look at one of the most successful horror movies of all time, Paranormal Activity.
If this isn't the best known found footage film, then it certainly is a close second to the Blair Witch Project.
This is one of those movies that you either love or hate. Critics, for example, weigh in on Rotten Tomatoes, getting it a certified fresh rating of 83%, while the audience only gives it a 56%.
So let's see why the critics thought this movie was so good.
From Cosmo Landsman. Paranormal Activity is a remarkable achievement, but ultimately, it's just not scary enough to be considered a horror classic. Well, Cosmo, it's good to know that you can be so easily wooed by cheap camera tricks in an hour and 26 minutes of virtually nothing happening. But at least you can acknowledge that this horror film wasn't scary, which kind of leaves me wondering why you gave it a positive rating.
From Simon Foster, the young couple's exposure to the demonic forces at play in suburban San Diego is entirely believable and chillingly unforgettable. By believable, I'm assuming that you're talking about how the demons like to toy with their prey over a 3-act story arc, rather than just kill everyone to begin with. Also, since this movie is so unforgettable, we challenge you to give us a plot synopsis without looking it up.
From Bruce Bennett. A suitably suspenseful homemade haunted house creep show made on a low budget that is also a patience tester in need of a fast forward button. While I can enjoy the humor in your line, I couldn't help but notice that you specifically gave this movie a B+. It concerns me that you think something that is a patience tester in need of a fast forward button is above average.
From Alex Zane, it's been called the scariest movie of all time. It's certainly not far off. Simple, effective, terrifying. Let's take a look at a clip from this terrifying film. This movie is comprised of literal snooze fest and virtually no horror! Did you all watch a cut of this movie that I didn't?
From Simon Crook. An Amityville for the YouTube age. Potent, primal, and genuinely frightening. Here's why you're wrong. In Amityville horror, things actually happen over the course of the movie. There are characters that you can invest in. Paranormal Activity, on the other hand, is about two people who get slightly messed with by a ghost over the course of an hour and 26 minutes. Oh yeah, and the husband is a complete and total dick who won't put down the camera even for his distraught wife. So, Mr. Crook, if you meant potently bad, primal in its filmmaking technique, and frighteningly awful, then I must agree.
From Kevin Mayer, not since David Lynch's Lost Highway has a movie manipulated so skillfully the disturbing power of black screen space and the potential horror hidden within. I stopped listening to my self-talk after he said David Lynch.
From Rich Klein. While this gimmicky movie creates a superb creep-out atmosphere, it's never actually very scary. There are a couple of good jolts, but the idea itself is more unsettling than any anxiety the filmmaker can generate. Rich, I wonder if maybe you could explain something to me. How is it exactly that you can put the words gimmicky and never really scary into the same sentence and still give this movie, that is supposed to be a horror film, a positive review?
From Brian Holcomb, expect less and you will appreciate it more. The film isn't unique or even very well made. Pelly only seems able to come up with half a good idea throughout the film. Well, Brian, we couldn't agree more, which is why we were left scratching our heads as to why you gave this a favorable rating. Also, we throw out the notion of expect less and you will appreciate more. It is with that mentality that cinema is in the shitty state that it's in today.
And lastly, from Jolene Mendez. Forget Halloween, get your thrills and chills from this film. I would like to go on record and say that I'm totally okay when people have different opinions than me. I may rebut your opinion with an opinion of my own, but I'm okay with it. But when you can sit there and imply that this movie, which is half comprised of people sleeping, is a better way to get your thrills and chills than one of the most iconic horror movies that has ever existed, not only can I not take you seriously as a movie consumer, but I definitely can't take you seriously as a movie critic.
Here's the deal. This movie was successful because it was marketed as being real.
Even though everybody knew it was fake, they couldn't let go of the fact that maybe they were legitimately watching a haunting.
The production company knew that if they marketed this film as being real and not actually saying it was real, the audience would eat it up. And they wouldn't get sued.
Clearly they were right because this movie only cost $15,000 to make, and it grossed $193 million worldwide.
Our point is, take away the gimmick, and this becomes a straight to Netflix and DVD movie like Grave Encounters.
Which we think is a way better film, by the way.
With that being said, we're going to adjust the score from 83% to 45%.
And they're lucky that we don't take more points off for building their trailers out of scenes that aren't in the movie.
So, Movie Holics, what'd you think? Were we unfair in our review of the Rotten Tomatoes reviews? Or did we get it right?
Make sure to let us know in the comment section below, guys, and as always, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud, and go over to movieholics.net and ask us some questions, because we're begging to answer.
Stay fresh, Movie Holics.